welcome to Ship Philly First, a presentation of PhilaPort, the Port of Philadelphia. Today we're at the Tioga Marine Terminal along the Delaware River to showcase something we haven't seen in years: livestock, the export of female dairy cows, specifically Holstein and Jersey cows being loaded onto a ship, the livestock carrier Alondra, part of the fleet of the shipping company Coral Line. These cows will be headed to dairy farms in Turkey and Azerbaijan in Europe and Asia. Takes quite a team to make all of this happen, including Pennsylvania cattle sellers. These heifers are coming from McCartney Inc. outside Harrisburg, working with a company called Globofield Worldwide that links buyers with sellers, and a local Pennsylvania shipping agent, Beal & Company, which helps facilitate the transportation. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania owns the terminal and the Delaware River stevedores operate it. And when it comes to the transport of cows, it takes a specially trained crew. We're happy now to be joined by the Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding. Thanks so much for your time.
It's great to see you. Thank you.
Great to see you as well.
Pleasure.
Let's talk a little bit about agriculture in general in Pennsylvania. If you live in Philadelphia, the urban environment, you may have no idea how big the industry really is.
You may not know, but you sure care, right? You're going to eat 3 times a day and touch that refrigerator door. So they touch ag, they just don't know it. The rest of the state, we're at $132 billion, 18% of the gross state product of Pennsylvania. Food and agriculture, about 590,000 jobs. So it's a big piece of PA.
And livestock is a big part of agriculture.
It's nearly 70% of our total sort of agricultural output is livestock.
So let's talk livestock and what we're seeing, this big ship behind us.
Yeah. As close as I am to agriculture, I'm always fascinated, right? You see them animals on the farm, you see them on trucks, you see them in motion. But here they're going to load this ship, right, with 1,700 animals roughly. That are going to be bred heifers, so they're at the right age, they're carrying a calf, and just that whole sort of system, amazingly clean. But what was impressive is the crew. These are folks who are specialized, just like the farmer is, or any of the other folks in this chain of trade. Really impressive.
And these are pregnant heifers. I made the mistake of calling them cows. They're not cows quite yet.
Not yet. So they're going to leave here as heifers, and they will be cows, shortly upon arrival in Turkey. So that's an important distinction, though, right? Because that calf is in the heifer, right? They're bred. The buyer certainly has set forth the spec that they're in a certain range. So when they get in country, they can deliver those calves and begin production almost immediately.
It's kind of like 2 for the price of 1.
It is 2 for the price of 1, right?
Pregnant heifers.
Right. And the other benefit is in country is that they become, this is an economic enterprise. Right? These are animals. These aren't bought for pets, right? They're going into production systems. So they're going to produce milk, good nutrition, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, all those good things. That's what the buyer wants.
Why is the buyer coming to Pennsylvania for this?
It's all about the quality of animal, right? You've got 5,000 dairy farms in Pennsylvania. You've got a port in Pennsylvania. You've got great infrastructure. Looking for those export markets is really important to Pennsylvania agriculture. 95% of consumers, the available stomachs, as I say, are someplace other than the United States of America. So we produce a lot of stuff that needs a home and a consumer somewhere around the world. So having a port, really important.
It's not like we're shipping lumber. These are animals. So
these are live animals, right? So they need a lot of care. They need to be fed and watered. Protect it because the buyer I want this live animal when they step off the ship in Turkey.
Before they put these animals on board, there are all of these preparations. You got to see some of that, the early stages. They haven't actually started loading them yet.
This process started a long time ago, right? So you're talking about individual health records for every single animal, which means the farm that was the source of the animal is inspected. The veterinarian who oversees that farm and animals inspected those animals. The buyer has put his own veterinarian and eyes on it. The USDA will not let these animals be shipped internationally or this ship to leave this port without being inspected. And so there's a lot of people who've touched this before you ever get an animal on that ship.
We haven't seen livestock being exported out of PhilaPort in quite a few years. Why do you think that is? And do you think that's something that is subject to change?
We have talked about this forever, right? So it's been 15 years at least since any live animals have left this port. I think there's great potential. We're an animal agriculture state in Pennsylvania, right? 70% of our total agricultural output is from animals. Proud of that, but we also recognize the market is around the world. So it's got to be an active engagement with everybody. We see this as a long-term play for Pennsylvania. It's cattle today, but it'll be lumber tomorrow, right? There's confectionery product, there's going to be all kinds of sort of finished value stuff. That's all part of the economic enterprise. The 132 billion, that's inside this number.
You've been the secretary now for about 12 years. How have things changed as far as agriculture in the Commonwealth?
Yeah, it's changed a lot of ways. One is, and we just had confirmation with the USDA census, which is done every 5 years. We know we have, 47,000 farms. That's a number that's continued to change and some consolidation there. We've lost some land to a lot of other uses, single-family housing and solar and manufacturing and stuff. We understand that. But it's also grown in complexity and output, right? The international marketplace, compared to where it was 10 years ago, is significantly important. So the international trade work that we do, important. We have the chief negotiator for the USDA and the USTR, two critical entities for agriculture at the farm show this past year. Why? Talking about Pennsylvania exports around the world. Opening markets for apples and dairy and lumber is really the lifeline for Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania agriculture.
We in Pennsylvania know it. It's a matter of showing the world.
You got to show the world, right? At the end of the day, the folks who are in this business want something more than a volunteer certificate. This is a business, access to markets, access to capital, access to people. That's what agriculture is.
Secretary Redding, thanks
Great
so
to
much
see
for your time.
you.
Great
Thank
to see
you.
you as well. And a final look at something the Port of Philadelphia is hoping to see much more of, exporting Pennsylvania agriculture out of the Tioga Marine Terminal here in Philadelphia. Cows are headed overseas. We hope you now have a better understanding of how it happens, and you can learn much more on our website at PhilaPort.com. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Brad Satin. We'll see you again soon for another edition of Ship Philly First.